Hey, Bob, guess what? It's another edition of Let's Chat Sales.
Let's Chat Sales.
Yeah.
And I believe it's an hour earlier because the time changed this past weekend.
Yes, that's right. And so we're actually getting an extra episode in less time. That's good for the listener, right? Excellent. The win is about our listeners. It's all about delivering value for our listeners. So
I wasn't aware of that.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly what it is.
I will approach it differently then.
Today we're talking about creating discomfort for your customer, right? Basically, by being in a sales role, you're creating the possibility of discomfort for the customer.
I don't think you're sort of creating the possibility. I think you're absolutely creating the possibility.
Yeah, you are, in the sense that you're asking them to do something, one way or another, they have to do something different, right? We're expecting them to do something different.
Or you're just informing them of something
Right.
that they may not be aware of, because you might be the expert on that facet of their business. And now you're saying to them, hey, this thing is kind of off. And now they have to deal with it, right? Which can be very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't want to know the thing that could cause you problems. You got enough problems, and now you've got the salesperson coming in saying, by the way, I know you have 18 things wrong. Here's the 19th that's going to go wrong.
Yeah. What you're doing is basically suggesting they've got to do something different than they do today, right? So that's creating discomfort. That's creating risk. That's creating work for them or for someone on their team. And as a general rule, people don't want to do more work than they have to, right? And they want to be able to keep doing what they're doing. Hopefully, and maybe this is unreasonable, but they're hoping that, I can keep doing the same things I'm doing, but just do them better and have a better outcome. And of course,
or this will go away.
Or it'll go away. And,
right.
and that's unreasonable, right? That the idea that you're going to do something different, you're going to do the same thing and we'll just keep doing it and then somehow it's going to get better. That's what you're up against, right?
Right. And I think when you say that's how we tend not to look at it that way, and we should.
Right.
I'll give you a comparison that might make it more clear. I had a check engine light come on my vehicle the other day, and it was on for 2 days, and I was driving a lot and I didn't have time to get checked out.
Yeah.
And suddenly I was worried. My car's got 200,000 miles on it. It's 17 years old. And I'm thinking, I'm going through the whole, now I got to buy a car.
Yeah.
I'm not prepared to buy a car for a variety of reasons. And that really put me in the tailspin for a day. Like, how am I going to do this? Then the check engine light went off.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know why. Maybe my prayers are answered. But now I still have that nagging feeling that something could be wrong.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we do as salespeople. We go in, we say, hey, this thing, you could be better if you did this. It might operationally, you could do this thing. And we've got the solution to your problem. And then you leave and they're still thinking about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The salesperson is the check engine light in that scenario, right?
Right. Also coming
an alarm that could or could not be a big deal.
Yeah. We're also selling an improvement. Ideally, you should be selling a better outcome. But the thing about the better outcome is there's effort, there's work to get there typically. You just can't flip a switch and get the better outcome. Otherwise, people would just do it. Right? It's not simply like we're getting a simple upgrade. You hit a button and the new OS comes out overnight and you're done.
Right.
This is much more complicated than that. This is moving from Windows to iOS or moving from iOS to Windows. There's effort, there's risk, and there's, I got to learn a new thing. And so when you're coming at that, you're basically introducing a new set of things that they have to deal with. The point being is, if you're going to do that, you had better understand very well what the benefit is. And that benefit has to be significant enough that they're going to take the steps, that they're going to do the sorts of things that need to be done in order to get to that better outcome. This is me talking again about the whole customer journey, right? Mm-hmm. It's understanding the level of discomfort that you're actually introducing into the equation by saying, hey, you ought to do this different thing. And so if you understand that you're coming at them and saying, hey, you got to do something different, you got to do work. As a salesperson, you have to recognize that's what you're asking of your client. That, hey, you're going to have to do work. Maybe they don't have to do very much. Maybe mostly you do all the work and your team does all the work and you come in with the product and you do all the training and you get them up and running and all that and you do all the integration. Maybe that's the case, but there's still some amount of work they have to do. And
discomfort.
And those are, discomfort.
Even if they're not doing a lot of work, there's a lot of discomfort that can come.
And risk. The idea that, I'm going to do this new thing and it's not going to go well. Whereas I know the devil that I'm dealing with right now, right? That's the thing that you kind of wrestle with is like, that's almost like a mathematical equation. You're going at them and saying, hey, there's 2 parts pain that we're going to introduce to this, but you're going to get 6 parts of pleasure or gain as a result down the road. And can you see that 2 parts pain is worth it, right? You almost have to think in those terms, right?
I love that you made it so logical.
Yeah.
It clicked for me when you went through that. And I've never thought about it quite that mathematically, but that's really exactly what you're doing. I'd be curious. I'm going to have to try that with one of the next people I talk to about sales and just say to them, look, I get that for me, it's coaching. I do a lot of coaching. So it's going to be, hey, I get that you're going to have 2 parts of discomfort, but are you ready for the 6 or 7 parts of comfort that would come from that?
Right.
That may actually work.
Well, it's like, what exactly is it that you don't like about this situation that you're in now? And what is it that you don't like about the effort that's going to take you to get to this new place? Let's say we can get you to the new place and you're much happier in that new place. Let's talk about the things that are in the way. And that, can we alleviate some of those? Or can we quantify exactly how much they are? And those sorts, if you can kind of go through that process with them, with the customer, you may be able to get them. Again, this is the thing. You have to make them comfortable with the discomfort of the transition.
Yeah, that's key. And also, it's the elephant in the room, right? Because what we're talking about here often does not get discussed.
Yeah.
And it's a big factor in the whole thing. That's why I like your mathematical equation, just coming at it and saying, hey, here's the reality. I realize what I'm bringing to you, and I realize that you're not going to feel good about it as you're going through it. But on the other side, there's great stuff coming.
Yeah, and some of it is not mathematical. Some of it, it's like, oh, your cost is X for this and this. This problem is costing you X, and this here and here and here. Oh, and when you go to the new solution, whatever the better world is, the better outcome is, you're going to get 3X this, 2X this, but whatever, those sorts of things, you're going to have those improvements. But there's also that emotional, oh, I got to do this thing. I got to get other people involved. I got to do this. And, if you're a large organization, you're selling to a large corporation, I've got too many things on my plate. I'm not going to tackle that. That's too much effort. And maybe there's a huge gain. And then it becomes one of those situations where you have to, it may be you're going to run up against a brick wall. If you've got someone who's in a position where they just don't want to rock the boat, you may not get there. In some cases, that's where you have to look for someone in the organization that's really looking to make a name for themselves. They're not risk averse. They're looking to get them promoted, or they're looking to get a bonus, or they're looking to establish themselves inside the company in some way, and they're much less risk averse. They recognize that, oh, hey, I need to do this in order to get to this point in my career, or in order to get to this position, or what have you. And so in some cases, you have to look for people that are willing to take those sorts of risks. That's kind of part of the qualification. So when you have these conversations with people inside an account, you may want to assess how willing are they to go on this journey with you? How willing are they to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune?
Whoa, look at you. Well, and think about that's why it's really great if you can work with someone a second time, right? Because they know they can survive that. They've been through that with you and they know what it's like. Exactly. So having that person on that team that says, I've worked with Brendan before. Yeah. He's going to get us to the good side. Yeah. And it's not as bad as you think can really be a key. Yeah. And so, testimonials. Right? That's the other part. It's basically saying, hey, you're going to be okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I beat that up, huh? You gave me some things to think about in how I do my sales, believe it or not. Yep. 2 parts pain, 6 parts pleasure. Gain, whatever. All right. We should do this again, Bob, I think. All right. I like it. All right. I'm in. See you, man. See you.
Okay, that was another episode of Let's Chat Sales, a quick one, of course, and I hope it was helpful. And if it was, please like and subscribe, and more importantly, share it with your friends. There should be something right here you could point to and click on and try that out. It should be good. It's probably good. Certainly short. It's probably helpful. And thanks for listening or watching.